Let's begin by finding a seat and closing your eyes. Place one hand on your heart and take a deep breath, focusing on that space beneath your palm. Place the other hand on your belly. Feel the sensation of your breath beneath your fingers. During this practice, I want you to really focus on what you're feeling. Don't worry about naming or describing. Just simply wake up to what's going on in your body. Feel whatever is going on and invite your body to speak. Now, let's gently begin to move. Press the soles of your feet together, bring your hands to your ankles, and begin flowing side to side. Just gently awaken the hip flexors and the low back. This area of the body holds a lot of stress, especially for women. So if you're feeling any tightness or tension throughout the legs and low back, ask your body if there is anything it wants to show you as you move through this practice. Now we're going to begin to gently go deeper by going in small circles, just forward and backwards here. So really just pressing into the hip flexors and the low back, moving in whatever way feels like it's releasing tension or pressing into any areas of tightness. Now go ahead and switch directions if you haven't already. Continue that flow of just pressing a little bit deeper each time you come forward, maybe a little bit further back each time you reach the end of your circle. The more you move, the more you'll awaken to what's happening in your body. So if at any point during this practice you encounter something curious, invite the body to share its wisdom with you. Now let's take this practice deeper still by leaning over the toes and just begin rocking back and forth. Really pressing into the hip flexors, into that stretch, maybe releasing some tightness going on in the low back. Just remember to keep it moving. Even if you're only barely moving at all, you've got to keep this energy flowing. So gently rock back and forth. Now sit back. Place your hands behind you and spread your feet. And we're going to begin dropping our knees toward the mat. Now, if you can't get your knee all the way to the mat, that is okay. You just want to begin to wake up that inner thigh and the outside of the hips. And as you continue, maybe you'll loosen up a little bit more and you can get a little bit lower or a little bit deeper, but no stress. This is not about getting into any sort of position. This is just about getting into the body and really understanding what is going on with our body sensations. Now on the next time you get to that right knee, go ahead and pause there, shifting over into a low lunge, placing the left toes on the mat behind you and pressing into that hip flexor there. Then you're going to press into the toes and bring that left knee off the mat and just begin to rock forward and backward here. Now you should feel a deep stretch throughout the hip flexors on both sides, but really into the outside of that right front hip. Play around here with what feels good, really pressing into that hip. Now we're going to shift that right foot back towards the right knee and rock side to side. You should feel a stretch throughout the outside of the right thigh and the right hip. Just play around here again with whatever feels good. Really just pressing into those hips and beginning to loosen everything up. Next, bring the left knee just under the hip and come up onto the hands, bringing that right foot to the mat. We'll continue playing here with that right hip flexor, moving back and forth, dropping the knee side to side. Wherever there's tension that needs to be released, go ahead and move into that space. Remember, this movement is intuitive, so let the body tell you what to do. Now let's go ahead and flip to the other side. The left foot is going to come towards the right wrist. The right toes are going to press into the mat. Right knee comes off the ground and begin flexing forward and backwards, pressing into that left hip. Now again, we're going to move that left foot back toward the right knee and just begin flowing side to side here. You know the drill. Whatever feels good in the outside of that left hip, just press in there. Kind of explore curiously what sensations are happening, where there may be tightness, or where something wants to be released. Again, that left foot is going to come to the mat, the right knee is going to come under the hip, and we're just going to flow back and forth here with the left hip flexor. Pressing forward, sideways, maybe dropping the knee out to the left. Just play around and release any areas of tension, and just do whatever feels good for that left hip. Now, if you haven't checked in a moment, remember checking in with the body here. Asking for any wisdom that it may have to share, inviting any sensation, good or bad, just feeling whatever is going on in the body. Now let's come to all fours, drop the belly here, and begin to just stretch out the abdomen and the front of the abs, flowing side to side, doing whatever feels good here, and then pressing into that spine, pushing up into an arch, and flowing back and forth here as well, just stretching throughout the spine and the low back. Drop the belly again, really twisting, pressing, letting those abs stretch out, doing whatever feels wonderful here for those muscles, and then once more, press the spine into an arch, twist, move, shake, however feels good on that low back. From here, we're going to keep the spine arched and push back towards our knees. And we're just going to kind of flow backwards and forwards here, keeping that low back arched, just really pressing into any tension throughout the movements, and feeling a stretch through the bottom of the spine and tailbone. If you're feeling a lot of tension here or tightness, invite the body to share with you any areas of fear or any feelings of lack that you might be experiencing. Now let's come back to all fours. Take your right hand to the back of your head and bring your elbow into the mat for some gentle twists throughout the spine. Twist up and down here as much as you can without bringing that left hand off the mat or creating any extra tension throughout the spine. Now go ahead and switch sides, so bringing the left hand to the back of the head and the left elbow to the mat, and just begin that same twisting movement here. Really pressing through the shoulders and the spine, inviting that twist to really release any extra tension along the spine. Now let's go back to the mat. Press the palms into the mat, keeping them on the ground, and just press through the shoulders and to raise them off of the ground. Flow here for a minute, just kind of exploring any tension you might have in your shoulders, really pressing through the backs, pulling those shoulder blades together. You should feel a lot of stretch between the shoulder blades and around the shoulders. Next, we're going to come back to that twist, but from this position, so the right hand coming to the back of the head and the elbow coming up and down here to just invite another deeper twist in the back of the shoulders. Now go ahead and switch sides. The left hand can come to the back of the head, left elbow raising and lowering just up as high as it can without creating any extra tension. And just breathe through this movement here. Now both hands will come forward again, but this time bring the palms together. Press your elbows into the mat, raising your hands to the back of your neck and inviting a stretch through the back of the arms. Now, if you want to go deeper here, when your palms hit the mat each time, you can press into the sides of your hands against the ground and raise your shoulders off the mat. This will create a deep stretch throughout all of the arms and will really just invite you deeper into that area. Just flow here, feeling out any tension in the arms, any tightness, any areas that need to be released. Coming back to all fours, let's begin a forearm stretch. So your hands can be facing forward or they can be flipped like I do, whatever is comfortable for you. And just begin to press all 5 of your fingers into the mat of each hand, stretching through the wrists, through the palms, through the fingers. Be really gentle here with this stretch as there's a lot of little bones in the fingers and wrists, but just invite that energy of healing or stretching or loosening into this area. And just kind of flow back and forth here, bringing a deep stretch to those hands and wrists and forearms. Now we're going to move into the feet. So place your right foot on the ground, the other can stay bent behind you, and just begin pressing your weight onto your right knee, bringing a stretch to the bottom of the foot and into the toes. You can kind of flow back and forth here, pressing through the back tendon on the back of the heel, just inviting a stretch and a loosening to all of the little bones and ligaments and tendons in the foot. Go ahead and switch sides, stretching the left foot and the left toes, bringing the weight of the body onto the left knee, and just pressing into that space. Again, if you haven't checked in a minute, now is a great time to do so. Just breathe into this space in the foot, inviting in memories or thoughts or any sensations that you may be experiencing. As I said before, don't try to name or describe any of these thoughts. Just experience them as they come. The time for description and naming will come later. For now, we're just diving into what our body is trying to say so that we can better understand it. Finally, let's invite a stretch into the back of the legs by placing the hands on the mat and pressing into a forward fold. From here, you can bend and flex the knees as much as you like. Feel out whatever feels good or how your body wants to move. Just be bringing length to the hamstrings, the back of the knees, and the calves. I like to kind of flex here, bending the knees, taking one at a time into a nice bend, whatever feels good on the back of the hamstrings. Now coming back down, why don't you meet me on your back? Take your time here. The body's been stretched a lot. And as you come back down, place your elbows just below your shoulders, feet on the mat, and just relax your head back, really opening up the chest. This heart opening is a tactic to open the thymus and that heart space, to not only release any areas of tension or stored trauma and grief, but also to just invite in whatever it is the body needs. As you breathe into this space, ask your body once more for the wisdom that it's been trying to speak to you. Go ahead and release your elbows and come onto your back, bringing your knees to your chest for a quick self-hug. Then you can begin to drop both knees to either side for a gentle twist, just releasing any leftover pent-up energy that may have come up during this movement session. When you're ready, relax onto your back. You can keep your knees up or stretch them out long, whatever is comfortable for you. Now, for the last 20 minutes, you've been opening up physical blocks in the body and diving deeper into areas of tension. Now that you've awoken to the body sensations and begun realigning your body's frequency to how it was originally designed, you'll find a clarity that you may have not felt before. In this space, ask again any burning questions you may have. Invite your body to share its wisdom. The door is standing open. Stay for as long as you like, and when you come back to the room, write down any answers that you find.